AP class. Every year, we have students who start college with enough credits to have a sophomore standing because of the many college credits they have earned throughout their program at South. So what does our AP program look like? Over the past 5 years, we have averaged almost 1,400 students enrolling in an AP class. We have averaged almost 1,100 tests taken and 775 tests that have earned students college credit. That is a passing rate of 71%. This number is not falsely inflated by selectively enrolling students with a certain GPA or test score. This number is achieved with AP access for all students. We do not gatekeep. We educate and support our students. As you'll hear throughout this evening, the reason we care so much about the building and sustaining our advanced placement program is not because we are striving to be ranked. Rather, the reason we care so much about sustaining and building our AP program is that, as mentioned, we have decades of research and data that shows us that students involved in AP in high school have the best chances of being highly successful in college and beyond. And I'm going to take a moment to focus on the beyond. As a high-performing high school, our goal is not simply for our students to be successful when they are in school. Our goal is to provide students with the skills and habits they need to build successful, productive, and happy lives for themselves after high school as they begin to define their own lives as young adults. I have 3 children of my own. My oldest is a junior at the University of Kentucky studying mechanical engineering, and during his high school career, he took 8 AP classes. I also have a senior and a freshman currently in high school. My senior has taken 6 AP classes and my freshman is in her first. One of the things I personally stress with all of them is that AP is about more than just the class or the test. It is about challenging yourself. It is about the experience and the habits developed during that experience that will carry you through your future, no matter what that future may be. In talking with my son after his first semester, he indicated that the single best thing he gained from his AP classes was the fact that he learned how to study and do the work necessary to be successful. So as you begin to think about the courses your child will enroll in for the 22-23 school year, we encourage you to pay close attention this evening so that you can maximize all of the opportunities we have available here at Hinsdale South. To help you with this, as Mr. Dickerson said, we have assembled a panel of experts here for you tonight to share with you their own personal experiences with the AP program. On the panel, we have 2 of our star schools counselors who work together to coordinate those, right, as Mr. Dickerson and Ms. Cammie. We also have our Director of Counseling, Mr. Michael Holland, as well as our Director of Instructional Equity, Dr. Patrice Payne. You'll hear from Honors and AP Science teacher, Mr. Hallahan. We've asked 2 of our current students that have had 2 very different successful AP experiences, as well as a former student who has utilized his high school AP experience to leverage additional success in college, as well as the University of DePaul University admissions counselor here to talk about the role of AP courses can play in our college admissions process. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Payne.
Good evening. Good evening, Hinsdale South students and parents. We are so thrilled you joined us tonight. This is such an important time in your lives as students, so we wanted to ensure that we took the proper time to make certain that our students and families know that, yes, AP courses are challenging, but you have what it takes to be successful. And there are many research benefits to taking advantage of our AP course offerings. As Mr. Martzoff mentioned, College Board provides a number of important reminders that really emphasize the countless benefits that AP classes provide. College Board studied a group of 1.5 million college students and a subsample group of 450,000 students. And what they found in an overwhelming manner is that when compared to same age peers, who had never taken AP courses during their high school years, regardless of score. We know that there is a score range of 1 to 5, and students who earn scores of 4 and 5, and sometimes 3, are able to receive college credit. But the studies that College Board conducted showed that AP students who earn a score of 1 or 2, or average a score of 1 or 2 across their AP exams in high school, have better college outcomes than students who did not take an AP course or an exam. So taking AP courses has a number of advantages, but there are some that are directly related to college success that many students and parents are sometimes unaware of. It's our hope that we can shed light on those pieces of information. As you know, at the end of an AP course, as has been stated a few times, students take the AP exam. And College Board found that their peers had 3 key takeaways that really pointed to the advantages of taking these AP courses. So I'll share with you the first finding. The first is just college enrollment. AP students, including those with average scores of 1 and 2, are more likely to enroll in a 4-year college or university as compared to academically similar students who did not take an AP course in high school. AP students who average scores of 1 or 2 on their exams are 16 and 19 percentage points, respectively, more likely to enroll in a 4-year college. And I think that that is a really significant point for our students to remember. The second key takeaway is that if you just focus on college readiness, students who earn AP scores of 2 are well prepared to succeed in introductory college coursework. The third key takeaway is that there are just more pathways and progress that can be observed. Many students who receive a score of 1 or 2 on an AP exam will take further more opportunities to explore AP courses throughout their high school career. And what has also been found is that as students take more courses, they tend to perform better on the AP exam. We want you to know that it is not about the score, but it is about challenging yourself to be exposed to an AP curriculum and environment that matters the most and mirrors the next stage of life you will be entering. We will ensure you feel supported, as we know taking your first AP course can be challenging. But based on your academic performance, hard work, and commitment, it is clear that you have what it takes. And if I can just echo what has already been stated, high school provides such a wonderful opportunity to introduce yourself to this amount of rigor and challenge, because it is in a supportive environment and a more intimate environment. And you'll learn that as you hear from some of our very own staff members, like Mr. Hallahan, who actually teaches AP. Also know that all of us are a resource to you, and we hope that you feel more comfortable and more encouraged to take on this challenge. Thank you so much, and I will turn it back over to, actually, I'll pass the baton over to Mr. Hallahan, one of our AP teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Payne. I appreciate the introduction. And as Dr. Payne said, my name is Adam Hallahan. I'm an AP science teacher here at Hinsdale South. I've taught AP science for 12 years with environmental science, and 7 years teaching AP biology. My goal today is to provide you with some information about my course and hopefully give you an idea of what other AP teachers in the building would expect. However, I'm not going to speak for them and their expectations. So all AP teachers, myself included, submit a course syllabus to the College Board every year for approval to ensure that the course topics that I teach are aligned with their approved curriculum. This ensures the rigor of the course, but also provides teachers the professional autonomy to determine how best to teach the AP standards. The alignment of standards allows for collaboration among AP teachers across the district, the state, and country, which benefits students and teachers alike due to the professional community this creates. The goal of any AP course is to prepare students for the exam in May. We move through content and review that content up until the exam date to ensure students feel as prepared as they can for that test. There are times when I teach seniors that they might cry senioritis. I've even had juniors who even create a term junioritis and say that they may be done with the curriculum, but we continue to move through and push them to do their best and be as prepared as they can for that test in May. Because I do not take the commitment that parents and guardians make financially to the AP exam. So I try to be honest with students about the preparation necessary to achieve the score that they want or need for the college of their choice. The course is meant to mimic the experience students would get taking an introductory environmental science or biology course at a university. Therefore, their experience in my class might be different from the experience they have had in their previous science courses. The course objectives that I create are outlined very clearly for every chapter to ensure there are no surprises for students on what they need to know. Textbook reading is required on a regular basis and is necessary for success in the course. Time constraints do prevent me from covering all objectives with a discussion or lecture, and students are therefore must be prepared to read the text and come with questions in class in order to go over that material. In an effort to create an inclusive classroom environment and curriculum, I do provide students the opportunity to demonstrate their knowledge and skills through project-based learning and assessment. These non-traditional assessments mixed in with the traditional AP-style multiple choice and written response tests provide all learners the opportunity to show off what they have learned. Learning and demonstrations of learning do not have to be the same for all students, and my hope is to provide students various pathways to success. If I could leave you with one bit of advice going into an AP course, it would be this. Go into the course with a willingness to learn how to learn. I know the phrase learning how to learn may sound odd, but I have found great success with my students on this topic. As students progress through school from the elementary level all the way to high school and college, the ability to be metacognitive and recognize what you do and don't know yet is a great skill to master. I work with my AP students to adopt study strategies that cognitive science has shown to work best for retention of information and application of that information. These strategies are skills that can be applied across courses and life experiences and help students be lifelong learners. A recent Hinsdale South Hall of Fame honoree stated, and I am paraphrasing them, that if you are not struggling, you are not getting better. There has not been a year in my professional career where I have not had to struggle at some point. It is because I push myself to be better every year. And struggle does not have to equate to weakness, but instead to growth. My hope is to provide my students the opportunity to grow as a learner through their time with me in the classroom. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to discuss my course with you, and I hope to see you at some point in my classroom. I'm now going to pass it along to Grace.
Thank you, Adam. Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace Jacks. I am a DePaul University admission counselor, and I work with prospective DePaul students from Hinsdale South. And today I'll just be talking about the college perspective on AP classes. I also recently graduated from DePaul, so I can speak a little bit about my own personal experience with bringing in AP credit as well. So obviously, with AP classes, a big benefit is bringing in that college credit. So we typically are looking for test scores of 3s, 4s, and 5s. We actually have a really great website. If you Google AP credit awards by exam, you can find it. We do it for AP, IB, and other types of credit. So that'll give you a really great breakdown on whatever class you're taking and what scores we're looking for. And every college should have this. This is a really great tool to look at if you are in those classes and kind of wanting to see what that'll look like. And in my own personal experience, when I was in high school, I took about 3 AP classes and I only ended up getting credit for one of them. However, this brings me to my next point that even though I did not get credit for all of those classes, I still highly recommend taking AP classes because what we really love about APs is that they have a level of college prep in them that is really wonderful and really helps you feel ready for that college class feel. We really like the curriculum from AP classes, and we like to see students who are willing to challenge themselves and take those AP classes. So, you know, obviously credit is really awesome. It's really great to knock out some of those. You know, even in my experience, like I was able to knock out like 2 college classes from 1 AP test score, so that was really cool. However, I totally don't regret those other 2 classes that I took because they were able to help me feel a lot more prepared in my college class setting. And that kind of has an impact on overall campus performance. and allowing you to feel more confident in your class schedule, able to kind of have other stuff to explore at college, makes you feel more comfortable. So those are kind of the benefits of the college perspective on AP. And yeah, so we just love to see students who are willing to challenge themselves and take that on.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Dhruv. I'm calling from Stanford University. I'm a freshman here, so I graduated from Hinsdale South last year. I'm studying bioengineering, at least intending to. And I'm here to talk to you about the AP courses that I took and my reflections on them. So the course that I took were, BC Chem, Physics C, Bio, Stats, Psych, the ones on your screen. The most notable ones I would say, at least in my experience, were BC Chem and Bio, because they really shaped my interest in college and especially in bioengineering. But like the main benefits of AP courses are kind of a taste of college level pace of learning. Um, College classes, I think the hardest thing about college classes is that they move really, really quick compared to high school classes. The content is roughly the same, but you're learning basically what I had 2 years to learn in high school in like a quarter, so like 10 weeks at Stanford, which is insane. But AP classes kind of helped me get acclimated to this pace of fast learning. But I think the number one, or maybe tied for first advantage of AP courses is the interactions with high achieving peers. I think being around people who also care about, learning and high like achieving in high school is very motivating, and it pushes you to work harder as well. And AP classes are a great way to get to know others in your grade who have the same mentality as you. Um, and then the other kind of best thing about AP classes at South is the excellent teachers. I think the some of the AP tests are don't cover enough content to really make an impact on your college experience. Like for example, Calc BC's AP test is notoriously easy, but Hinsdale South's Calc teacher, so Mrs. Sirvatka, is really, really excellent. I mean, she teaches at a level way above what the test requires. So I think the class does really well, and it preps you for college classes really, really well. And then kind of the second portion on the slide is my advice in hindsight. So basically regrets from high school. I think number one is that AP tests are really important. I may have underestimated their importance. I haven't gotten much college credit. Part of that reason is because Stanford is pretty stingy with how they give out college credit. But I only got college credit for BC Calc and I think chemistry. That's it. Um, so take those seriously, get whatever scores you need, kind of look in advance to see what colleges require, especially the ones that you're interested in, because that matters. Point number two is engage with the course content. I think I could have done this more. It's easy to turn high school into this kind of game where, you take tests and you get a number back, which is your GPA or AP test scores. But if you take the extra time, really engage with course content and find a love for learning, especially in subjects that you find interesting, um, that can be really rewarding in the long run. And great teachers make that super easy also. So often it's the teachers that inspire you in certain subjects. Number three is that go beyond AP if kind of you have an interest in a subject. I wish I had done this more. For example, I took BC and then after that just stopped doing math classes. Whereas at Stanford, I see a lot of kids who did community college courses in mostly multivariable calculus, some people in linear algebra also. And then they come to Stanford kind of with that in mind and with some experience. It doesn't have to be like full college experience, but it's really good to have. So I would strongly recommend just go and do community level college or community college level classes in interesting subjects like multi. And then my final point, this might be super personal, but take CS. It's kind of a new AP class. It's a rising field, but it's super important. At least at Stanford, it seems like everyone here takes computer science, even if you're studying English. So I didn't take CS, and now I'm taking intro to Python, which is unfortunate. I'd like to have some experience. So yeah, that's all the tips I have. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Mr. Dickerson again, Jim Dickerson. So Drew was one of my students. So I am hopping on for this transition just to also explain that the number of AP classes Drew took was appropriate for him. But as a parent or student, I want to make sure that we understand not everybody is going to take 12, 13, 15 AP classes or needs to, but we do want to celebrate obviously our academic stars just like we would our athletic stars. So Drew, thank you very much again for joining us from Stanford at dinner time out there on the West Coast. So our next next two panelists are actually current AP students. One is Darrell Mundane, he'll go first. And then another one of my current students, Kimberly Thal, who will go next. They are actually right now participants. So Darrell and Kim, you can unmute yourself and that should work.
Oh, am I good? I think everyone can hear me. Hello, I'm Darrell Mundane. As Mr. Dickerson said, I'm a senior here at Henslow South, and I will have taken 8 AP classes by the time I graduate. A few of my past favorites have been AP European History, or AP Euro is more commonly what it's known by. I'm not really like a big history guy, but I still found this class like super engaging, and it was my first AP course. I took in my sophomore year, and I know that it's a lot of students' first AP courses, and I think that what I loved about it the most was that it did a great job at preparing students for like the standard of AP classes, and it wasn't too overwhelming. So I thought I had a great balance. My current favorite AP classes that I'm taking this year are AP Lit and AP Calc AB. Math and English, unlike history, have always been my favorite subjects. And I think these two are just like the epitome of what I enjoy about these classes. AP Literature being like studying story and narrative-based analysis, and I love that. And then AP Calc AB, while it's the easier calc class of the two AP choices, it moves at a very nice pace, and you still get that college experience. So moving on to like some pros and cons of taking AP courses, I think the biggest pro for me is the preparation for college itself. As a high school student, taking like a college level course seems very daunting, but like we have a great staff and we have amazing resources that can help students if they fall behind. So as I look towards college, I think the fact that I've already been exposed to 8 entry-level college courses definitely eases the anxiety that a lot of seniors may feel, and it definitely does an amazing job at preparing the seniors at what's to come in the following months. The biggest challenge for me was the time management. So here at South, I'm involved in Peer Leadership Network, Principal Student Advisory Council, speech, theater, improv, and a cappella. And so each of these extracurriculars often lead to me having very, very long days here at South. I'm actually at the school right now still. I had a cappella rehearsal and then I had to work on speech. So I have a lot of days where I'm here until around 7. But with that being said, AP classes are college courses, so it's expected that the workload would suggest so. So oftentimes we have, depending on the courses and depending on the amount of AP classes taken at the same time, very demanding amounts of work. And it's all about balance and time management. And so sometimes things could get the best of you. But despite this, I really do highly encourage getting involved with extracurriculars. Doing extracurriculars for me helped me choose my future college plans, which kind of leads on to my intended college major. I plan on majoring in media arts production with a concentration in screenwriting. So one of the extracurriculars that I listed was speech. And so that's where I found my love for screenwriting. I was required to like craft different dialogue-based stories throughout my 4 years of speech. And so it kind of just developed into a love for storytelling that eventually helped me build into what I want to do in the future. So yeah, thank you. and I hope you enjoyed.
Oh, can we hear? Good. Okay, okay. Hi, I'm Kim Phil. I am also a senior AP student here at South. After I graduate, I'll have taken 10 AP classes. A few of my favorites have been AP English Language and Comp, and AP Spanish Language and Culture. This year, I'm really enjoying AP Psychology and AP Statistics. Which is really interesting, a really interesting choice for me because math is not necessarily my forte. But like Darrell, it's really, I said about AP Euro, it's really, AP Stats is really engaging. And it's been definitely a favorite this year. So one thing I really appreciate about Hinsdale South's AP program is our teachers. Kind of like Drew said, our teachers are really great. Not only are they great people, but what's really beneficial to the academic side of that is a lot of our teachers are AP graders themselves. So in the summer, they'll go and grade AP tests, and then they'll come back the following year knowing how that test went for many students, and they're able to base their class and the coursework and tests all around what the College Board is looking for. So I know like it's been very beneficial to me to have teachers that kind of like nitpick at your work to like an AP Lang. I know Mr. Moore like knows exactly what the College Board wants you to say. So having him teach us those techniques really helped me score well on that test. A challenge that I also faced is the time management as well. I think that is a really, really big consideration that prospective AP students need to take into account, like Darrell. I'm also heavily involved in extracurricular activities. And because these classes are more rigorous, it is very, very easy to fall behind. If you miss a day, and just in general, if you miss a day in high school, it's very hard to catch back up. So when you're thinking about taking these classes, I definitely would think about your involvement within extracurriculars and home life, social life, mental health. It's super important to think about that. And also to think about if you are ready to put in the work for these classes, because they can be super rigorous, and you have to be able to advocate for yourself and kind of be able to reach out to your teacher if you're not understanding something or you need extra help. So it's super important that you know that you can work towards these classes and also keep track of your time and mental health. In the future, I hope to be an audiologist. So I'll be studying communication sciences and disorders. Sciences and disorders. I actually found my passion for hearing sciences while taking American Sign Language and anatomy and physiology at South. And there are two non-honors classes that I really am enjoying, or I enjoyed American Sign Language. I'm taking anatomy and physiology this year. So if you're kind of dissuaded from AP classes, or you don't want to take that many, it's just important to know that there are so many opportunities at South for you to be successful and have a successful future plan that can both include AP and also not include AP. So it's important to look holistically at your choices and make the best one for you.
All right, thank you. I always am amazed, not surprised, but amazed, especially with our younger panelists, just how dynamic and awesome they are. So I thank everybody, obviously, but especially Drew and Darrell and Kim for joining us tonight. So I am on the screen here with Katie Cami. She is one of the co-AP coordinators with me. We're both school counselors. So, what can you do now to get involved in the AP program? I also am going to echo, what Eric said as a parent of a student who was in the AP program at Wabansie Valley High School. My daughter's currently a freshman, and she is going in with over half a year over a semester of credit because of her AP classes to her college. Drew mentioned Stanford being stingy. Most colleges will give much more generous AP credit than a school like Stanford University or like a Harvard would. A school like DePaul or even like Mr. Martzoff said, the Illinois State schools will be very generous with AP credit. So how does one get involved? As you see on the PowerPoint, course selection will happen next week, and then into the following week. So class recommendations have been made. They may or may not include AP classes. If you are a rising senior, you're going to be a senior, or your son or daughter is going to be a senior, and there is not an AP class on the recommendations, have the conversation with your counselor. As Dr. Payne said, and Mr. Martzoff said, we're not looking to be the gatekeepers and keep people out of our AP program. So if you're interested in taking an AP class senior year, please have that conversation. Juniors and seniors, that's when a lot of the AP classes happen. So know that over the next 2 years, you can take advantage of the program generously. Rising sophomores, so current freshmen, and there are a lot, who were invited to this. You may or may not have a recommendation for an AP class. Usually it's a social studies class, maybe computer science, which is the class that Drew plugged. So those may be on there. If they are, great. Again, I would strongly urge following that recommendation. But if not, again, realize that most of these are junior, senior year, and we can always have the conversation about what's available sooner if necessary. The second PowerPoint I think is really important, and I know Grace from DePaul did a great job, mentioning that too, as did Mr. Hallahan. Consider a healthy struggle and balance. And Kim and Darrell both mentioned balance as well. So we want students to be well-rounded, all right, not just academic machines. These are teenagers, and balance is really important in life. Mental health is very important. So please consider, what you can handle. So some struggle is good. Some rigor is certainly good and certainly helpful, especially getting ready for what a college curriculum is like. But please have balance in that. Please be realistic in that, and know that that colleges accept students all the time who have not had 10, 15 AP classes. Again, work with your teachers, work with your school counselors. Please reach out to us with any questions, whether it's your counselor for your son or daughter or self, or whether it's one of the coordinators, myself or Mrs. Cami. But again, we thank you. There is a question and answer, and I'm going to hand it over to our department chair of counseling, Mr. Mike Holland, who is going to moderate that. Thank you all.
All right, well, it's good to see the panelists and imagine seeing everybody else. I want to echo what they've said and thank the panelists for giving up time in their evening to share their wisdom and their experience with you. Panelists, particularly the students, Drew, Darrell, and Kimberly, this is the time where everyone would give you a standing ovation, so I hope you can imagine that. We're really grateful for you guys sharing your experience and always blown away by the depth of insight from our students and our recent alum. So if you have a question for the panelists, please put that in the chat, or there's a Q&A feature. We'll moderate both of those and then throw those questions to our panelists as they come up. So the first question, I know Mr. Hallahan has to go really soon for his own kids' evening event. So the question, Mr. Hallahan, if you're still on, before you jump off, and this is a tough question, but the students mentioned that the pacing of the course and missing a course is tough. For students who've missed due to COVID, a question came in, how has AP courses handled students who have been out with COVID? I don't know if you want to speak to that at all.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that question, and definitely appropriate given our times, right? Thankfully, the district has done a great job of implementing online learning platform like Canvas that allows students the ability to maintain connections with their teachers and the curriculum that's ongoing as we move through the course so that they can keep up with what's going on. We also have support now in the building to help students who are going through isolation or quarantine for COVID to provide them the support they need, both while they're isolated, but when they come back, so they can keep up with what's going on and feel like they're not going to fall too far behind. I know for students who've missed time with me, I try to keep constant communication with those students, both when they're isolated and quarantined, but when they come back, getting a gauge for what they feel comfortable making up in a pace that feels good for them, because I know I'm not the only course they have to make up. So it is just a communication between all parties and ensuring that we're getting back to where we need to be, but at a pace that everyone's comfortable with.
Thank you, Mr. Hallahan. All right, for the students, a question came in that said you mentioned being involved in many things. The question asked specifically, were any of you student athletes, and how did you find balancing participating in AP courses with being a high school student athlete? So I don't know if any of you can speak to that or not.
While I'm unable to speak on my own behalf, as I am not a student athlete, one of my best friends here at South is. She also does drama as well. She's a student athlete, and she kind of does all. So she does it all. So she mainly with her when it comes to time management, a lot of the practices are like daily, like 3 to 6 is what I find. And so when it's strictly a sport, she says that it's pretty standard. She just has to make sure that she spends adequate time on each of her things. It takes a lot of, I guess, time management. But when it comes to multiple layers of things, like when the sports kind of overlap with other activities, that's when I find that she's most often stressed. So, and that's usually around times like right now, like when spring sports are starting to start their practices, and fall and winter activities are coming towards the end of their seasons. That's kind of the overlap period. Thankfully, we've just started a new semester, so the workload isn't too demanding at the moment, but it's definitely a lot of depending on the time of the year, as well as what you do on top of being a student athlete, that comes into play as well.
And I can speak as a coach. I coach cross country and track, and many of my athletes, if not the majority, are involved in one or take one or more AP classes. And again, a great thing I think about the Hinsdale South culture is it's very balanced. It's very understanding of the fact that, my runners are not just athletes, they're students. Students are not just students, they're athletes. It goes in all kinds of different directions. So I would not let, again, balance is important, but I would not let involvement outside of school dissuade anybody from taking AP classes.
Thank you, Coach Dickerson. All right, the next question was about AP credit at the community college level. So I just Googled College of DuPage to find their AP chart. And so you'll see really for every college or university, there's a specific website where you can actually look up every single school and get to their AP policy and see what scores on which test would equal which credits at different schools. So this is just an example from COD. So you can see the test, the score you would need, and then the credit they would give. So the quick answer is I can't speak to all community colleges, but our local community college does indeed offer credit. All right, so the next question is, how does taking AP classes impact a student's GPA? Does anybody on the panel want to take that one? I can certainly field it if no one else does, but I'd like to hear other voices if anyone would want to speak to that. All right, everyone's deferring. So we do have a weighted GPA system, which means that every honors course or every AP course that you take is worth an extra quality point, or it's worth an extra point in the GPA calculation. So as an example, English 3, we're on a 5-point system. If you get an A is worth a 5, a B is 4, a C is 3. AP English language, the third year option that's an AP course, an A is worth 6 instead of 5. a B is worth 5 instead of 4, and so on and so on. So that weighted GPA system does give added points to the GPA calculation, and both the weighted GPA and the unweighted GPA without those extra points is on your transcript and reported to colleges. Okay, let's see. Someone is asking about what is the typical AP class that is taken first as a sophomore. A couple of students have mentioned AP Euro. That's typically the first class. I don't know if anybody wanted to speak in any more detail about that first AP experience as a sophomore and what it was like transitioning to an AP classroom for the first time.
Yeah, I can speak briefly on this. So usually the two like premier options for AP students is either AP Euro or AP Psychology. I took AP Euro, and it definitely it wasn't a huge transition because I was in some honors classes prior to that. Like prior to that, I was taking World Studies honors, so I had been in like a more advanced setting. But what really was a big change was studying specifically for the AP test. And learning the AP style questions and how the College Board likes to ask them, and just kind of learning how to study a little bit differently was a big learning hurdle, I guess. And I think that can be found in both AP Euro and AP Psychology. Yeah.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, so what we hear most often from students is getting into that first AP class is the biggest learning curve, and learning how to learn, as Mr. Halahan said. Sophomore year, so we've had a few questions from freshmen or parents of freshmen saying, so is it my time to take an AP course? And the answer would be sophomore year, the courses you're picking for next year was typically the first time you could take an AP class. The only two courses open to sophomores, well, technically there's 3, but it'd be AP Euro, AP Psychology, or AP Computer Science Principles if you've taken the appropriate math classes to allow you to be able to do that. So those courses are available to you. Another question in the chat is how many AP classes is the right amount? And there is no perfect answer to that. And I'll echo what Mr. Dickerson said. Your teachers made recommendations for you, and you can view those in Home Access Center still, but every teacher is working in a silo. Mr. Halahan only knows what kind of science student you are, so he might have wrecked you for AP Biology because he knows what kind of science student you are, but he doesn't know what your other 6 teachers are doing. The only people who see the complete picture of all your whole schedule is you, the student, or you, the parent, and your counselor. So what's the right amount of APs? If somebody's planning to go to a 4-year college, we want you to take at least 1 during high school. We have kids who end up taking, 15 or more, but that's really an individual decision on what's most appropriate for you. Right. All right, so we got a question about, do students who take AP classes and the AP exam have to take a final in the class? I would tell you that, so Mr. Halahan is gone. That would be an individual decision on a course-by-course basis. Mr. Martzoff, I don't know if you see any patterns overall about how AP teachers handle final exams post AP exam. So what they're asking is, to give you guys a time frame, AP exams are the first 2 weeks in May. So the AP classes really build up to kind of the crescendo of being prepared for that AP exam in May. So if you take an exam on May 10th, then what about the final exam that would happen after May 10th? So, Mr.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And the answer is you have to have, and it depends, as Mr. Allen said, it depends on the teacher, but there is a final culminating activity, right? And it will vary on what it is. So I think back to a previous AP chemistry teacher that we had, that once the kids took their AP Chem test, then he would have this massive lab where they would have to decide, and he would just give them these projects and figure out what the components of the different solutions were, and that you utilize the thing. So it really varies from class to class, but yes, there is a final culminating activity. But again, it depends on what that class is to depend on what that culminating activity would be.
All right, so we have a question. Does the year you take the test make a difference when you're submitting your AP score to colleges for credit? So Grace, I don't know if you want to handle that one from a college perspective. So I think what the question's essentially saying is, if I take an AP exam as a sophomore this year, but I'm not applying to college or enrolling in college for a few more years, are they going to say that score is too old or expired? So Grace.
Sure, yeah. So we wouldn't think the score is too old or anything. We would accept any AP scores no matter what year. And specifically for DePaul, I would assume that goes for all colleges, but specifically at DePaul, we allow self-reported test scores on the Comment app. And then you can just, since, submitting scores often like costs money, you have to like go through the College Board. Once you know that you want to enroll and deposit at DePaul, if you're accepted, then you would send the official score. So that's kind of our process there. But yeah, we accept all scores.
All right, so I think we've made it through all the questions in the chat and Q&A. So one last huge thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you to everybody who attended. Course selection meetings actually started today for some students. They're going to go throughout the next couple of weeks through February 1st. So you got an email, students, with when your course selection meeting is with your counselor, most likely during your PE class. And we look forward to working with you to finalizing your course selections for next year. If you have any questions, you can always rely on your current teachers, on your counselor, and make sure you're talking with your parents as well, and we'll all help you make the best choices and finding those right courses for your future. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye.